Every guy should start in jail and have to work his way out.
Absolutely.
I think
love that
that's
idea.
because it's like you need to earn your place out here.
You do.
In my opinion.
You do. And it should be treated as if they're on probation for a while. Like one strike, you're back.
Yeah, even when they're out. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
People that don't want to have kids are selfish. Point blank. That's
Shut your ass up. What's good, peeps? It's your boy JP back at it again with another reaction video, and today we are reacting to Tommy NFG. Shout out to Tommy NFG. And today's video is why Gen Z gave up on kids. The economy is a lot different now. People have different priorities. People are very unsure about the future. With that being said, before we get into the video and figure out why y'all or Gen Z has gave up on kids, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We keeping it PG. It's a whole lot of prosperity going on around this mug. You feel me? So without further ado, let's just get into the video.
The family dream for decades around the world was going through life exactly like this. Going through elementary school to high school and having your typical good and bad experiences. Good experiences being meeting good friends you may have for life, and bad experiences being, I don't know, getting your head dunked and swirled in a toilet. I refuse to believe this has ever happened in real life. Like, I don't know where shows came up with this trope. Meeting your high school sweetheart and you both graduating. Going through college and having your wild phases. Then
I know high school back then was really like chill, bro. Like no cap. I like a lot of the stuff that you see on TV. Like a lot of us, depending on what type of school you went to, a lot of us got the chance to experience a lot of that. So with technology and AI and all that stuff, I don't know if stuff have changed, but if y'all can't enjoy the same things that we enjoy, man, that sucks.
after graduating, having a couple more years before settling down, marrying, and having kids. Universally through the world, I feel like this is the typical path people see of how it goes. And with Gen Z, it's becoming more and more common for people to not want this path. According to the stats, almost 1 in 3 Gen Z and millennials are saying they won't have kids at all. Not even talking about kids, most aren't even trying to get into a relationship. Most dudes are either chronic gooners and gave up on love after their middle school breakup, and most girls are either insane femcells on Twitter saying men should have to earn the right to have freedom.
Every guy should start in jail and have to work his way out.
Absolutely.
I think
love that
that's-
idea.
Because it's like you need to earn your place out here.
You do.
In my opinion.
You do. And it should be treated as if they're on probation for a while. Like one strike, you're back.
Yeah, even when they're out. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I think
Y'all did that. Y'all done gassed their head up. That's a goddamn shame.
slave masters had that type of idea going on. At least they're being nicer, I guess. They're saying they'll free us. Anyways, I'm so glad of hearing the stats. It's not just me, and y'all are alone too. Yes, we are gonna be single the rest of our lives and have 0 chance of a relationship. On 3, Gen Z, who's with me? 1, 2, 3. Nobody did. Yeah, so I thought it would be pretty interesting to talk about why it's become how it is for Gen Z. You know, people always talking about how birth rates are dropping drastically. And if you think of it, it's kind of hard to find someone nowadays that has kids in their early, mid, or late 20s. Like, out of all people I've met in my life, I genuinely only know 2 people in my life that are Gen Z and have kids. And this trend is exactly following how it was for millennials. Crazy to think how the older generations was just popping out kids as soon as they hit 18. Nowadays, if I see an
And I watched the video with Aberrant preaching, and Preach hit it on the money. I feel like now we live in a time where we have options. And I'm not just talking about dating options. I'm talking about like life options. Like, and I know if you are familiar with my channel, I know you're so used and probably so tired of me blaming everything on social media. But I'll tell you, social media is a reason for a lot of this stuff, right? And it's because social media has created this world where we can watch everybody else live life. We can live life the way we want to. We can make money online. We can have all the friends in the world. We can go on all the adventures. You see all these people live these extravagant lives. They're going on trips. I want to go on another cruise. That cruise is so fun. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just just trying to do a lot, right? And people are trying to enjoy life and do as much as they can with that, right? Which is nothing wrong with that. Problem is, now that they can live that and they see other people living it, I said before in the old Meezy video, social media has made us grow up slower. Meaning, not that we aren't old, not that we're not growing up, but the fact that social media has gave us so many options that people still have this like for instance, when you get older, you tend to shift. Well, at least back in the day when you got older, we tend to shift from me to them, and them as in like children, family, the people around your community. Like, you think about that when you was a kid. Like, I'm 31. When I was a kid, you know, we had community. We had elders that watched over us. We had other people in the neighborhood that, you know, that everybody knew each other. I mean, I grew up in apartments, but, you know, it was still like that too. Like, everybody knew each other. Everybody kind of like, you know, played the family dynamic just amongst your friends' parents, your neighbors' parents, whatever, right? Everybody played that role in the community, and then start focusing on them. But now that you see that social media is on the rise, people are more individual like. There's less community, and if there is a community, it's not the immediate community. It's the community you created for yourself online. So it's not, we just grow up slower. Our priorities has changed. A lot of things is different. Anyway, to go back to the kids thing, so because I'm bringing it back full circle, right? So because of the lack of community, the lack of all this, people are uncertain about the future, and they want to live life like they see in the community they built online, right? The community you built online probably doing all types of things, and we have all these options to be anywhere and everywhere whenever we want to, and show the whole world that we don't really want to have kids no more at the rate that we used to. And people trying to hold off. It ain't even just about the money thing. It's just that people really want to experience life now and push kids off till later. And it's not a bad thing, but I wonder but everything comes with a pros and cons. So I wonder what the cons will look like when that time comes, when like everybody is in their 50s with like 12-year-olds or 15-year-olds, and you're in your 50s. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be weird. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking because I'm in the same boat. You know what I mean? But it's crazy out here.
18-year-old saying they're gonna have a kid, all I'm thinking of is, man, his life is absolutely bro. This is the most obvious one, but one of the main reasons is the cost of living has been absolutely fried the past couple of years.
No, fried. If y'all having a hard time with the cost of living, just like me, y'all let me know in the comments. What's your rent? How much your rent is? I'm in Texas. I ain't gonna lie, I'm in a good position. I've been in my space for a while, so my rent don't go up as high, and that's why I'm not going nowhere. I'm not telling y'all my rent though. You know, it ain't none of your business. But I've been here for a minute, so I get it really good. I ain't gonna even much lie to you. Now, y'all tell me what y'all rent is. Let me know in the comments below. Is it crazy? I don't know. You let me know.
No, I know. I talk about it a lot and all the time, but man, how can I not? I mean, literally no one even has an ounce of hope. If you ask Gen Z what their hope is for the future, all they're gonna think of is how the cost of living is absolutely cooked and it's only gonna get worse. AI and clankers are gonna take like 80% of the jobs we have, and the US is gonna go into civil war over these dumbass politicians. The cost of living
tariffs is crazy. Camera equipment is up. Everything up.
Would be one thing if it was just happening in 1 or 2 countries, but the fact that it's happening in multiple countries at the same time, man, just pass me the cigarette already. Us Americans always focus on our house prices and how they are, which is true, but I feel a little more patriotic when I look at ours compared to the UK and Canada. This is a 650,000 pound house, or $879,000 house. 5 bedrooms and 1 bathroom is diabolical. I know the bathroom looks like Chernobyl every day. And in Canada, this is a $1.6 million house. house. No wonder Drake left y'all years ago. I wouldn't want to be there either. And even though I think money is obviously a factor to things like the house, I think there are people in Gen Z and millennials that can afford things like houses with a mortgage. But one of the main reasons they won't do it is because if they do get that typical family experience of getting a house on mortgage and having kids, they know they're going to be stuck paying it for the next 30 years, probably barely scraping by.
And we're on a shift, because this is important, right? We are in the middle of a shift. People are on social media and we are talking to each other and like breaking down these quote unquote American dream standards that was put on us since we was kids. Like, we question, like, can you really think about it? The whole house, picket fence, 2 dogs and some kids and the wife or husband or whatever. Do you want that for real? Or was you told that's what you're supposed to have? Like, think about it. How many people go to school, do well in high school, then graduate high school, go to college, get some crazy degree that they don't really care about, then get out and go and try to get a job? Like, did you do that because you really wanted to do that? Or did you do that because that was the blueprint that was put out there that told you if you did it, you would be successful? Like, really think about it. Sit down and think about it. If nobody could judge you, nobody could tell you whether what you were doing was right or wrong, and you could solely do it because you wanted to and not do it, would you not do it? Or would you do it? Some of us live in those realities to where, shout out to my mama, I love my mama and my dad, but I didn't have a lot of expectations put on me when I was a kid. Like, you know, they would have liked me to do things like go to college and all that, but I didn't have those expectations thrown on me. Like, it wasn't forced, so it was like more of a choice. Even though I tried and school just not for me, you know what I mean? It's the fact that I ain't really had that expectation, so I was able to kind of do what I want. But I know some people have strict family members, like, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to get kicked out of the trust fund, or if you don't do this, you can't live here, or if you don't do this, I'm disowning you. I know it's some people like that. I ain't have that, thank God, so I was able to explore my options. But some good came out of that, some bad, but it is what it is. But I know some people don't get them fortitude. So really think about it. If all was off the table and you had it like me, would you do it? I don't know. Think about that.
And in the act of doing that, the kids are going to get neglected in some way. I know with my experience growing up in that typical type of suburb area, all of the kids' parents in the neighborhood, including mine, were barely home. We would be out when kids actually went outside late, and it would be 9, and some of them were still not back. Because on top of balancing the bills they had to pay, they also had to balance their kids' expenses as well, which ended up affecting younger generations' mental health and is a part of why it's such a problem now. With younger generations nowadays, we don't want to put that same type of burden on our kids. Every generation tries to improve how they were parented and change it. And I don't know about y'all, but I actually want to be able to do things with my kids. Go to Disneyland and all the fun vacation places. But if I gotta sit there balancing in this economy a $500K mortgage of a home that's the equivalent size of a shack, as well as taking care of my kids' expenses, I know it would be too much for me.
What? The amount I gotta do to stay above water is crazy. You want to add the expenses of kids to that too? Or just drown me at that point? No, not for real, but metaphorically.
Which is why a lot of Gen Z is even letting go of the thought of having kids. Why would you want to bring kids into a scenario where it's potentially going to be chaotic? There's all different types of wars going on. You don't know what's going to happen economically in the next years. It's also the reason why the age of having kids has been being pushed up a lot. There's a lot of women now who are having kids in their mid 30s to early 40s, which happened less in the past because it was kind of shamed by society. The shaming has gotten better in a lot of countries, but there is those places where it's still like a very bad thing to do. I find that so weird. Like, I would never sit there and judge someone for having kids later in life. It's one thing if you're bringing up potential fertility concerns, but a doctor would tell you if you're fine or not before anyways. If I did want kids also and wanted to pay for a house, I'd probably wait until at least 70% of it's paid off, which older generations did not do. They kind of just hopped into a house and popped out some kids, then hoped and prayed they could pay off the house eventually.
Yeah, because a lot of them just had kids because they was bored. Like I say, and shout out to Preach, because that was what Preach said in the Aberrant Preach video. They were bored. They didn't have no other options like we did. Like I said, in this era, we got way more options. We can do whatever, go wherever, whenever we want to do it, however we want to do it. Back then, they didn't really have that. They was like, have kids or just be alone. You run up your phone minutes every day because you ain't got nothing else to do. Like, I'm old enough to remember being charged per minute while you on the phone. I'm that old. Some of y'all that grew up and maybe watching this video don't know what unlimited minutes, what life with unlimited minutes even is. Trust me, I do. Or you get the it's unlimited after 9 p.m. So you just wait till after 9 p.m. so you can talk because your minutes will be unlimited then. Crazy. We live in a different world now.
Another thing is
That
younger
fast.
generations are valuing their freedom way more than other generations in the past. You'll see a typical boomer be like, when I was your age, I already had 5 kids with another one coming. What's the holdup, son? Yeah, the holdup is we actually want free time in our life and not have our life dedicated to kids fully. Society back then was literally just shaped on you gotta have kids or else you won't reach your full happiness.
They have nothing
And
else
kids
to
are
do.
amazing things in life. I think I gotta say that anyways because I am the child of my parents. Some people get surprised though when I tell them I'm not even thinking of having kids in my 20s and I'm probably gonna do it mid to late 30s. It should have never been a thing in the past where people found you weird or strange if you didn't have any. Never in my life when I was younger and I saw a family member who didn't have kids did I think they were strange. And now that I'm grown, I find it even more weird when a grown-ass adult thinks that. Social media was the true changer of how Gen Z and millennials approached the way they wanted kids. Before social media, people still went on vacations and traveled the world, but it's given us a brand new light on things you didn't even know existed in your own city. Like you could go on TikTok and find some miscellaneous random fun thing in your city you never heard of before to do. I wouldn't know about a bunch of the little fun things that were going on in my city without the internet.
That's
And now because
gangsta.
Gen Z and millennials aren't having enough kids and birth rates are plummeting, all the governments around the world are panicking what to do now. You got countries like Japan and South Korea pouring billions into fixing it only to have it get worse. Trump signed a law giving every baby born in America an $1,000 investment account. You know, I'll give the guy that one, but is that money gonna even be worth anything in like 18 years? If inflation keeps up, we're gonna be paying $200 for a Big Mac at McDonald's by the 2040s. That's if we don't have a civil war with the Clintons by then. No matter how much money the government gives to help with child costs, I think the lifestyle trend is stronger than that and it won't just fizzle out. Unless the government starts paying for like 70 to 80% of people's child expenses. It's now embedded in our society with younger generations where people are simply valuing their freedom more. You can see the stats, even in places where the cost of living is decent to good, they have less kids because to people it's no longer their forefront goal in life. Even in countries right now where the birth rate may be booming, like for a lot of the African countries, they're getting developed really fast, and as soon as it's developed to the point where people don't really feel a need as much, it's gonna drop. Crazy though how the governments only now care when people have been telling them for years they can't afford things. A lot of people say the only reason why the government even cares that the birth rate is declining is because they'll have less workers, and with less workers, they get paid less and make less money. But when you ask them to put some things in law to help us, they go, alright, I hear you. So you know
Here comes AI. That's what we're gonna do to help you. I would not be surprised if that's why this AI getting this crazy push. Cause it's like if we can't replace, if people aren't replacing themselves by having kids, then the work labor gonna go, it's gonna drop. It's not gonna be as good. And it's kind of scary. So when you use AI to replace the labor work that somebody that was having a kid would do, now you still can keep the same economy moving with even spending lesser money. So it's about saving money and I guess saving the workforce if we continue to not produce or reproduce kids. So yeah, AI is their solution to that. I already know.
what? $50 trillion to Israel. The hilarious thing is hearing older generations talk about how we don't work enough and we're lazy. Most of y'all already know it took them half the time to be able to afford a house working a job like us. But what's really crazy and what they don't want to acknowledge is how insane the billionaires were taxed back then. From 1940 in America to 1960, the highest income tax rate was 90%. No wonder it only took them 2 years to get a house. Y'all was basically getting them handed to you. Most of the ultra wealthy people back then didn't pay that full percentage, but they still paid a lot more lower than what happens today. Today, the richest out there got like 500 different loopholes where they can pay $0 in taxes. I promise you, if they change the laws to be like this again, you would see the birth rate at least double. Another thing that plays a factor into it is that younger generations aren't as pressured as much into having kids. Yeah, it still happens, but the way they did it back then, it was like you were disrespecting the family if you chose not to have kids. So because of my decision in life that I personally made, you're now mad? I never understood this for real. Why don't you go have another kid or something? For now, they're staying in the sack. You still got content creators like it's the 70s blaming people for not choosing to have kids.
If you're not having kids, you're selfish. You should.
Yeah, I hear that crap all the time. Listen, people want grandkids. They're just not trying to say it. A lot of things too with grandkids, if they didn't raise their kids right, they want to try over with grandkids. I know that's the thing in the hood. That's how the hood operates. I know some of y'all grew up in the suburbs with both your parents there the whole time. Unfortunately, not everybody had it like that, but kind of how it is in the hood. Like, typically the parent didn't do their job the right way, so then the grandparent try to come behind them and fix the mistakes or get a second chance at or whatever, right? So that's typically how that go. But anyway, with that aside, yeah, you always hear that, oh, you're selfish if you don't want to have kids. I don't get the logic for real, but I mean, I could kind of get it. And to be honest, ask me if I care. See, this is what I don't get. Are you going to help me pay for them? Boom. Are you going to help me take care of them? Boom. Are you covering that daycare costs? Boom. What you doing? What you pushing in? Nothing? Boom. Get out of my face. Boom.
Be having kids, sharing your knowledge, your resources, everything you have to give with the next generation.
Shut your ass up. Boom.
Kids are literally the best thing that is going to happen to you. You should start earlier than you think that you are ready. Having kids will actually make you ready, because when you have that forcing function in your life of kids, you will do whatever it takes for these little human beings.
People that don't want to have kids are selfish. Point blank. That's
Shut your ass up.
the only reason you don't want to have kids, right? But here's the thing. It's okay to be selfish, right?
These people have completely lost what the definition of selfish is. Just searching up the Google definition, it says lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. So how the f can you be selfish for something that doesn't even exist right now? That's like someone saying I'm selfish for not donating the money right now that I may be making in the future. Like, I'm still...
Plot twist. You selfish for bringing kids into this world that ain't prepared to be good to them. Boom. For your own satisfaction. Boom. For your own satisfaction, you brought some kids into this world that ain't prepared to take care of them. You tell me who's selfish.
Homeless, I haven't made the money yet. To me, it would be way more selfish to have a kid I know I'm not gonna fully be there for and put them through problems, instead of just not having the kid at all. With people that say this that want everyone to reproduce in the world, are you gonna be taking care of their kids if they're not up to the task? Because if you're not, then shut the f up. Literally everyone in the world can't reproduce because we would be way too overpopulated. And the last thing that changed younger generations is the amount of communities we have. Back then, you had your typical family community and neighborhood with you, but it still didn't feel like enough. You felt like you needed that extra push. With us and social media, there is unlimited communities out there you can be a part of. You can have a community so niche it only has 1,000 people a part of it. For us now, since we're so used to the internet, that's absolutely nothing in the size of a community. When you physically think of it though, that's like 10 times bigger than the typical neighborhood community. So now imagine 1 million or 10 million and you could be a part of multiple of those communities at a time. It's almost impossible to not find a community you could fit in with online. Anyways, that's gonna be it though. Let me know your reproduction plans, guys, or if you have kids now. Make sure your kids watch Tom Energy for educational content always. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Shout out to Tommy NFG. You know what I mean? Yeah. Y'all do what y'all please. Because I'm going to definitely do mine. Y'all not paying my bills, and I'm definitely not gonna pay y'all. So I ain't judging you. Do what you gotta do. But with that being said, till next time, don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button. Join the Prosper Gang. We keeping it PG. It's a whole lot of prosperity going on around this mug. You feel me? And remember, there's nothing impossible. Today we try. Till next time, I'm out. Deuce.